Hi, Sixth Hour. I want to talk to you about your historical fiction lesson for today. So, in your writer's notebooks, we have our title page that has historical fiction listed, and then the last two teaching points on it. So, today I want to add a third one, and that is that readers of historical fiction want to know what's going on. So, I'm going to type, but you guys add that to your list. So, readers of HF is what we have at our top. And then I'm going to put want to know what's going on. And then there's really 4 questions that work underneath that. So please copy down each of these as well. So they want to know what's going on in the historical time. They want to know what's going on with the backstory of the conflict. They want to know what are the new happenings in the scenario of whatever the historical context is. And then lastly, they want to know where the protagonist fits in this whole thing. Okay, so these are the things that we've copied into our notebook. Now I want to think about my own story, and I want to think about Long Way from Chicago that we started reading out loud a couple of days ago. So if I think about what's going on in that historical time, I know that it was a time of the Great Depression, and so I'm just going to make myself a little list of what was happening historically. So I'll put Great Depression. I know that Grandma, she was canning tomatoes and she had just made apple butter, and so I know that people they were really independent and they had to make all of their own food. So I'll put people made their own food. I know that they were talking about that Grandma didn't have a phone and his family didn't have a car because they were from the city. But then they said that in their town there was the train was what brought them there, and the train divides their town in two, and that was a small town, rural Illinois situation. So I'm just going to put rural Illinois. No cars, or not many cars, and the Wabash train, because that was the name of the train system or the train car that brought them. Okay, so those are the things that I know so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of read on for a while, and as I read on, I want to just kind of keep these questions in mind. What's going on in the historical time? What does it seem like is the backstory of the conflict? Are there any new happenings in the historical event? And then where does my protagonist fit? And as I'm doing the reading, I'm thinking about these things, and I'm making a little list here too of what some of the noticings are about each of those things. Okay, so I'm going to set you guys loose to go ahead and do some reading and start your list of different events that are happening in your story, and then we'll come back together in a little while. So go ahead and push pause on this video, and then we will resume after you guys silent read for maybe 20 minutes or so. So enjoy your reading time, and we'll talk soon. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed your reading. So what I want to talk with you guys now is doing a little bit of research and a little bit of digging to find out some more information about the time period and the place that your people were. I don't know, I just think it's a really good thing to have a good picture in my head of where and when the stories were taking place. And so since we can, let's do it. So first I had the Great Depression listed. And so if I go to Google Images and I just type in Great Depression, Illinois, then I see all different kinds of images, and I can click on some of them so that they blow up bigger. And I can just kind of look and get a sense of what life was like back in the time that this story was set. I did find this one really interesting one. It says 21 rare photos taken in Illinois during the Great Depression, and this just kind of intrigued me. And so I clicked on it, and then it took me to this article. So this is some of the different uh, photos that were taken during that period in time, and each one has like a little caption. And so I thought this was really cool to help me just kind of build my background knowledge about what was happening in that era. Another thing that I wanted to research was I had listed down something about the Wabash Railroad. And so if I do that and type in Wabash Bluebird, then I see all of these like train images, and I think that's a really cool thing too. And it helps me to just have a little bit more historical context for the story. Maybe another thing that would be interesting to me is to look at like the Wabash Railroad, like the train line. So maybe I'll just do like trains to Chicago from Illinois or from St. Louis in 1929, because that was the time that the story was set. And there's some passenger trains. Maybe there's an image. Oh, here we go. Look, there's a map right here of the train line. Oh, I guess that doesn't go all the way to Chicago, but I wonder if this was someplace where they were, because remember there was the reporter from Peoria. So that's kind of neat, kind of fun. So I think what you see me doing is I'm just kind of like allowing myself the freedom and the time to just kind of disappear down some different rabbit holes of research to kind of find out about the historical time period that my story was written in. So when you have yourself a little list of research ideas, kind of like what I do here, then go ahead and grab a computer and spend a few minutes doing some research about what you're noticing about the backstory, the historical time, new happenings in the historical event of your stories. So enjoy doing this little bit of research, and then you can decide if you want to share this stuff with your group today or if you want us to do it tomorrow as a class. So enjoy your time, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.